Have you ever felt it? That moment when life just hits you from, well, all sides. Fast deadlines, tough negotiations, maybe unpredictable market shifts, or even just tension within your team. It's that feeling of being completely pulled in multiple directions, your focus gets scattered, and you just feel spun. I definitely know that feeling. Today, we're taking a deep dive into precisely how to regain that crucial focus, that control, when things feel chaotic. And our insights, they come straight from Coach Ed Padalecki.
Right. And our mission here for this deep dive is really to pull out the concrete, the immediately usable strategies from Coach Padalecki's performance psychology playbook. We want to show you how you can anchor your attention, how you can maintain peak performance even when unpredictability hits. Whether you're navigating a tough business deal, maybe a critical game, or even a challenging coaching moment, this is all about real-world application for high performers like you.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Coach Ed Padalecki starts with this surprising, yet sort of wonderfully simple experiment. He calls it the spin test. He suggests you find a safe spot, then just spin around in place until you're slightly dizzy. If you're able, maybe even try it right now, carefully, of course. So once you've got that little wobble going, he gives you two options. Option A is just look around randomly up, down, sideways, everywhere. And what happens? Usually it just intensifies that dizzy, disorienting feeling. But then there's option B. Bring your hands together in front of you, sort of in a prayer position, and focus your eyes directly on your fingertips. Feel that. That almost immediate stabilizing, that recentering effect is pretty remarkable how quickly it works. So it's one thing to feel that dizziness physically, but how does this spin really show up when we're facing, say, a major project deadline or maybe a volatile market?
Well, that's what's fascinating here. How Coach Padalecki connects that very physical sensation directly to our psychological experience. He explains that life itself, well, it acts as a leadership spin cycle for high performers. Think about those things you mentioned. Fast deadlines, big decisions, those difficult conversations, unpredictable markets, team tension. These are exactly the moments, he says, that can truly rattle even the most seasoned professional. They create that same kind of mental disorientation as the physical spin test.
That immediately makes me think of sports psychology, which, Coach Padalecki highlights too,
Right.
where athletes are specifically trained to manage these exact psychological spin cycles. It's not just something they hope for, it's actually a skill they build.
Exactly. When an elite athlete gets rattled, maybe from a missed shot, a bad call, or just the opponent gaining momentum, they're taught specifically how to recenter quickly. And they do this by using a mental cue, maybe a specific focal point or a physical anchor, this crucial skill. It's called attentional control. And Coach Padalecki identifies it as, and this is key, a foundational pillar of elite performance.
Okay, that's fascinating how athletes train for this. But here's where it gets really interesting for those of us maybe not on the field. Perhaps we're negotiating that tough deal. We're leading a team under pressure. How do these elite strategies translate into our daily grind? Is it really as simple as finding a mental cue?
Well, maybe not simple, but it is incredibly powerful. You see, most people, when life gets chaotic, they tend to do what we described in option A of the spin test. They flail, they look around randomly, they just react. And what happens? Stress skyrockets, focus completely disintegrates. But Coach P observes that the high performer's response is distinctly different. They center, they breathe, they anchor themselves to purpose and process. And this raises a really important point he makes. Attention is a lever of power. It's not something you just leave to chance. It absolutely must be trained.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Train it. Coach P outlines a very practical centering protocol, something straight out of that performance playbook. Can you walk us through that?
Absolutely. It's a clear three-step protocol. Step 1, anchor to identity. This involves asking yourself, who am I committed to being right now? It's really about grounding yourself in your core values, your professional identity, especially when the pressure tries to pull you off course.
By connecting back to who you are at your best.
Precisely. Then step 2, lock onto process. This means asking, what's the next best move I can make in this moment? It shifts your focus away from maybe the overwhelming outcome onto the immediate, actionable step right in front of you.
Breaking it down. Makes sense.
Exactly. And finally, step 3, execute a grounding ritual. Now, this could be something simple, like a focused breath, maybe a personal mantra you repeat, or a quick recentering routine, like finding a visual focus point, or even just taking a short walk. It's simple, it's effective, and it connects directly back to staring at your fingertips in the spin test. It's a small act, but it can have a huge impact on stabilizing you.
What strikes me here is that this isn't just about reacting to a crisis. It feels like something we can, and maybe should, proactively build, like a muscle. Imagine the advantage if you train your focus daily, not just waiting for things to hit the fan. You could almost preempt some of that chaos.
That's a great point. And building on that idea of proactivity beyond those real-time anchors, Coach Padalecki also emphasizes something we often overlook: how structured routines become even more crucial when chaos hits.
Ah, that's interesting. Because it feels a bit counterintuitive for some, right? When things get crazy, isn't the first thing people drop usually their routines? Why does Coach P stress the opposite?
It's a common reaction. But what's fascinating here is that Coach P argues routines aren't just for the quiet times. He calls them your stabilizers, your psychological safety rails. They provide predictability, a sense of grounding, and maybe most importantly, a vital sense of control right when everything else feels unpredictable. Think about things like morning workouts, maybe some pre-meeting breath work, or even those end-of-day shutdown rituals. Elite performers, he notes, they lean into these routines, especially when the pressure mounts. They don't abandon them, they actually double down. They understand these aren't luxuries. They're essential anchors in the storm.
Okay, this is all incredibly insightful. So practically speaking, what does this mean for you listening right now? Coach Padalecki offers something tangible. He calls it today's 1% Better Daily Challenge. It's an immediate practical takeaway you can actually use.
Right. So this week, Coach P challenges you, first, to actually do the spin test. He reassures us it really does work. Just find a safe space. Then take a moment to identify one high-pressure situation this past week where you felt spun. Really pinpoint that feeling. And finally, based on that, create a quick centering cue that you will commit to using next time you feel that way. This could be a specific breath pattern, maybe a short phrase you tell yourself, a process step to focus on, or some other go-to behavior. Ultimately, it's about finding your version of staring at your fingertips and making a real commitment to use it when you need it. That, Coach P concludes, is how we stay grounded when things inevitably spin.
So Coach Padalecki's bottom line for us today seems really clear. Life will spin. That's a given. Your job, our job, is to anchor. The pros, the true high performers, they don't panic. They learn to breathe, they refocus, and they take control of the next play, the next step. Let's go do the same.
And maybe this raises one final important question for you to consider. If attentional control really is a foundational pillar of elite performance, and if attention truly is a lever of power, how might you proactively integrate and train these centering protocols, not just using them in moments of crisis, but building them into consistent habits to elevate your everyday performance, your leadership, your well-being? It's about thinking beyond just damage control towards continuous improvement, something to really mull over.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We hope this gives you some food for thought as you continue on your journey.